Hi everybody, welcome back towards another video. I was just doing some simple playing around in my little travel on the go sketchbook with some things, and I love drawing certain types of trees and greenery, and it's early in the morning, so I've got my coffee. Wait, I need to mix it up. The creamer is at the bottom. But since I have these, and I always forget I have them, I decided to pull them out. They're the Arteza Real Brush Pens. I keep them in this fun pouch. This is like a recycled material that, you know, they paint and then cover with some plastic coating and then create these bags. Oh, here, this is the brand. It's called Blue Cube Bags, 95% recycled material. And I get them on Amazon. I've got this one, which I store like supplies in. For a while, I kept like my travel watercolors in it just because of the type of material. I have another one somewhere. It has like Bigfoot, and I've used it as a pencil pouch. But what I keep in here are my real brush pens, a couple of these cards so I can use a water brush with them. I think that's all that's in here, are just my real brush pens. This is a set that I got, gosh, maybe in 2017, 2018 from Arteza. I had done lots of videos with Arteza way back, and now that people know who they are, I've stopped doing all of their videos because I think they have some nice products. I have also, back here, let me find it. I have to move a couple of flute stands because I have stuff for different gigs. It's the gig season for holidays. I have the watercolor pencils. I got a new pair of socks, Hanukkah socks. That's the thing, is like Hanukkah, yes, there's 8 nights of gifts, but one night you could get socks, and that's pretty typical. I have the 120 set of colored pencils. And these colored pencils, they're nice. They're kind of like a mix between the, what's it called? The Polychromos and the Prismacolor. So they do blend, but they say they're break resistant. They're pretty good pencils. And I've used these quite a bit. Yeah. And I was going to get rid of them, and I decided to hold on to them because, you know, there'd be a nice set of pencils to grab from for if I want to go on the go somewhere, and I don't want to take my Prismacolors or my Derwent. But then the other thing I have is their Inconic pens, which is basically just a bunch of their fine liners. And I do have some of their gouache, and I did have their acrylic paints. Let me set these aside. But those I got a long time ago, and they have since been used and dried up, and I even gave some away. But what we have here is, for most of you, you celebrate, I'm assuming Christmas. I celebrate Hanukkah. But what I love about Christmas is I love the Christmas trees. And my mother does a tree every year. And she does, what's it called? It's called tatting, and she does cross stitch, and she does crochet, and she does knit, but not that frequently. She prefers crocheting. And so she makes a Christmas tree every year, and or a holiday tree, whatever you want to call it. And on the tree, she does tatting and crochet, and she made all these snowflakes, and she puts them with some bulbs and stuff. Sometimes, you know, multicolored, sometimes green, sometimes blue, sometimes, you know, whatever she pulls out from downstairs in the basement. I'll see if I'll put a photo here. Just to show some of the snowflakes that she does, and they're all done by hand. And one year, she was learning a bunch of new patterns, and they were all like done differently. So every one is a different pattern because that's how snowflakes are. And I thought that was so cool for her to do that. But what I did here, you might not be able to see, is I just penciled in some like triangles to kind of give me shapes of trees, and then kind of like a branch here. And I want to do this branch first. It's a way that I taught a class with Mindy Lacefield years ago. It was like a bullet journal Christmas holiday class where there was like a different prompt for every day, and it was a lot of fun. And one of my favorite ways, originally I was using Tombow brush pens because there was a certain set of Tombow brush pens that you know, was required for the class. And so I originally had done this with Tombow brush pens, you know, because they have like the little fine nib on one side, and there. So all I did was, and these are real brush pens, so you can see here, like it's an actual hairs of a brush. Now, this is just some sort of a A301 is the color. I really wish Arteza would put names on all of that, but this is before they started putting names on things. It just was A301. I know they do on their colored pencils and stuff have names, like, you know, it'll say like peach and salmon and, you know, basil and whatever, forest green or foliage or whatever. But their older things don't have names. It just says A301. It's some sort of a light brown, might be like an ochre brown, or I don't know. And then I just pulled out a bunch of greens, and I'm gonna start with this one right here. It's A608, which is kind of like a chartreusey light sort of a green. And all I'm going to do is put some little and they don't have to be evenly spaced. They can be wherever they want. And one thing that's kind of nice about these is if you layer in the same spot multiple times, see how it darkens? I'm using this color just to kind of give me kind of the shape that I want for the, is that there? Give me the shape that I want for this is gonna be like a pine. And then I'm gonna go in with a slightly darker green. This is 613, maybe like an olive green. And I'm not gonna cover up all of the light green. I might even put this in between or even on top of. Some of the And then if you want another green, here, this one, A612. This was 613. So this one will be a little bit deeper of a color. Not much different, but just a little bit different. And see, you can just add all of your different layers. And if you wanted to, you could even add a colored pencil over it. If you wanted to, you could put a little, this is kind of like a yellow ochre maybe, you know, to kind of add a little bit more depth and dimension to the branch. And then you can go back over with that original color you used if you want to. And then grab one of those greens, and just so that yellow can show through but not be, yeah. And there you go. It's a pretty realistic looking pine. You know, if it's a branch, say you wanted to put like, you know, so you're drawing a little branch and you wanted to put like a little bird there, or you wanted to put like a bow and some holly berries or ivy or whatever. There you go. You've got your your cute little Christmas branch. Now, we're gonna take these, all of the greens, and I think what I'm gonna do first is, we're gonna do it with this larger triangle. I'm gonna just put kind of like a, taking that yellowy, ochre sort of a looking one, and kind of putting like a tree stem. I'm just gonna put that down. Now, I'm gonna take, this kind of looks like it's 603, just like a bright green. And this is just gonna be kind of like a fun tree. And we have the pencil here just to kind of give us a little bit of border. And then this is like 612. And this is just gonna be a fun looking tree. And there's no real order that these need to go in. I'm just grabbing a bunch of greens. This one is kind of like a blue-green, I think, more like that. And make it look, you know, rustic. You know, it doesn't have to be, look how fun that is, see? And I'm just going back in order again. We're just having fun. There should be 2 more colors. Now what you can do is you can leave it like that. Or if you wanted to, you could, you know, kind of draw a little star or whatever at the top of, I just used a bright yellow, A101, whatever color that is. Here's a red. I'm just putting some what look like bulbs. That's A410. Let's grab a purple. Doop, doop, doop. Just having fun. No rhyme or reason. You can put them over the tree or not, wherever you feel comfortable. Oh, this one is 407. It kind of looks like a bright pink. Let's put that down there at the bottom. Boop. Let's grab a blue. And there you go. Just decorate the tree however you see fit. You could have left it just as is, which I think is kind of cool. I'm gonna do a smaller one over here where I don't add the stars and stuff. And since this one is smaller, it won't take nearly as much time. So we're gonna do that. I've double checked and triple checked. This is recording. Look how pretty that is. Oh, my hand is a little tighter today. I did so much playing over the weekend that it's killing me. Let's finish the tree. And see, you can make these as big as you want, as small as you want. If you had those little, Arteza makes those, what do they call them? Those little wood tree rounds that you can paint on. That'd be so cute to paint some of these on, you know, a little wood ornament and then hang them on your tree. There you go. And see, a festive one, and you could use colored pencils to do this. It doesn't have to be brush pens. You could use watercolors. And there's one last tree that I drew here. And what I'm going to do is first sort of loosely color it in with this lighter shade of yellow-green. And now, let's go slightly darker. I'm gonna add this one, the 613. And all I'm doing is these little brush strokes. Just kind of pulling away from. And I didn't wait for the light green to dry because I wanted the colors to kind of blend a little. And what's kind of nice is since these are a brush pen, it kind of gives it that like watercolor look. Let's go one more. I think this is 612, which is a slightly deeper than that 613. I don't understand their numbering system. It's similar among like series of items. If you were to get their newer ones, I don't know because I've had all of these for such a long time. And look, there you have this wonderful looking, more sort of a realistic looking sort of in the distance evergreen or pine tree. Look at that. So that's all I had for you today. I just wanted you to pull out some of your supplies and have fun with them. like if you do have these real brush pens or a Tombow, you can take that green or any color you have and put it on a plastic surface, get a water brush that has some water in it, and see, you can, we'll try to do a little branch down here. Not sure if I'm in the, see how it kind of waters down. Let's grab some of that brown. Here it is. Make sure I don't squeeze. So I'll get some of that brown on here and see. And then if you want to go in with like one of your darker greens, and see how they act like watercolors, these real brush pens. And that's one thing I like about them, is you can take like these certain greens and browns and some colors, and you can do your, with an aqua brush, you can do your plein air painting. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the detail as this, but if you're just doing like a tree in the distance, you don't really need much more than, here's this green. We'll do it over here. You got your little, now this aqua brush from Arteza really lets out a lot of water. So if you're doing multiple trees, I'm gonna dab it a little. So there we got, oh, little cat hair. So we've got like a base color down, and if you wanted to go in with another one of those darker greens. And you can just, I did it kind of close to the edge of the page. Trying to fix that up. But see, they look just like watercolors. Let's go in with, is this one? Slightly darker color. And so you've got a tree. So these are so much fun to play with. I tend to pull them out when I don't have much time, or not much time, but I don't want to deal with cleaning up lots of, you know, brushes and things like that. And see, they just wipe off. This is a My Melody washcloth. I've got a Hello Kitty one as well that I use for watercolors, because they were gifts, and I'm thinking like, well, what do I use a Hello Kitty washcloth for? And I'm like, oh wait, I use it for all the watercolors that I do. So, see? And then you can even go in when this, because it's still a little wet, when it dries with a fine liner and give it some more detail, or when it dries, go in with one of the darker greens and give it some more detail like this. It's, you know, there's so much that you can do with these. Just have fun. And if you want to do this with fine liners, or you want to do it with metallic pens, or I wonder, I don't know where they are. Anyways, just have fun and give it a try. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.